And we're live. Oh no.
Hey, Devin Booker, you got some issues? You have a problem with this?
You gotta
Do
wave
you
it back
have a
and
problem
forth.
with
Wave
this?
the arms back and forth. He made the
Do you
free
have a
throw, by
problem
the
with this?
way.
Listen, little Miss Jenner, you want to give him a baby? I'll take that. I'll take that challenge. I see everybody doing the 10-year challenge. I'll take that challenge. On behalf of myself and Skip, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now, just know that you are locked in onto the point with
Skip.
and the king. You guys go down there, click subscribe. We have that giveaway for the Toque. Once we get to our 400 subscribers, we're getting closer. Thank you guys for actually subbing to us. We're getting there, and we will just give it away to somebody, whoever you are. Doesn't matter. We're gonna pick it by random. Skip,
To get
you and
the
I.
guys, hold on. So to get the Toque, what they have to do is they have to comment on our videos, and we will pick out a random commenter and let you know that you're eligible for the
They
Toque.
also have to subscribe.
Yeah, gotta subscribe as well.
Yes, sir. Okay, Skip. You and I have been doing this we just recapped our last episode, which was 3 years of us doing this. But for the last almost 2 years, we haven't been able to sit beside each other due to this pandemic, COVID. We all know it's hitting everybody pretty hard. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are having issues with schooling, with their children, with what they got to do. But the Raptors have been having a lot of issues with this. We did see at one point they had to have 4 bench players start for the first time and had to sign 4 random ass players. PJ Wilson, I hope he makes the team.
DJ, and I gotta say
Wilson.
that's got to be a record, being signed to a 10-day contract and starting the next day. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, they all met each other on the bus on the plane. Shout out to Prob Warrich on the Warrich Report. You did mention that on there, where other teams have had to postpone games, but the Raptors only postponed 2 games. You guys make sure you go check out the Warrich Report, because they only had a certain amount of players, but the Raptors were forced into paying these guys, which was
but what happened
really
after
kind of
that?
weird.
What happened after that? Everyone was pissing and moaning that we had to play that one game where we were shorthanded after transferring
against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, but after
the Raptors lost by 40 something.
But a week before that, we trounced Golden State with nobody on the team. And what happened after the Cavs game, right? We got everybody back. We went on a crazy winning streak against a bunch of teams that were
That's
sitting
what I
out
wanted to ask you, brother. That's what I want to ask you. Like, we could go COVID gone. Now we bring back the lockdown team, where we bring all the players back, where they're all getting back together and reacquainting themselves over the last run. Skip, how do you feel about that, my friend, post-COVID?
Well, it's been great. So I think what we saw was it 6 straight wins or 7 straight wins?
6 straight wins.
Six straight wins where they kind of got everyone back on the same page. It was kind of just this magic moment where everyone got healthy at the same time, partly because I think they got the rest because of COVID. But you finally saw the starting unit come together. You saw all 5 starters play. I'm counting Trent as the 5th starter, not Birch there. You saw all 5 of the team's keystone players come to the forefront and play. And you saw, even though it was against some really, really bad competition, let's be honest, guys, that 6-game winning streak might be the least impressive 6-game win streak I've ever seen, other than maybe the Phillies win streak, which happened at the same time. I don't know if it's over yet, but they won 7 games against totally decimated teams too. But that said, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You got to rack up those wins. And we saw the team come together and figure themselves out, I think, a little bit. So
yeah, but Skip. hold on. I know you guys out there. I've seen a lot of your comments. I've seen what you guys have had to say, and saying that the Raptors are playing against G League teams, right?
Well, they are. Or they were.
The Raptors are a G League team. But is there an issue? My question to you, Skipper, before we get on, is there an issue that the American teams are not letting their certain key players come across the border and have to go through health and safety protocols, which is what the Raptors players have been? You can pull up that graphic. Look how many Raptors players that have been on health and safety protocols. Has that been an issue? Do you think it could have swayed?
Of course it's been an issue. A lot of people are saying, hey, it's payback for last year when you made us play in Florida. And so now, and if these teams are really choosing to hold their players back by choice, I mean, sure, it's going to inflate the Raptors record, but I just say tough deal. Like, I mean, you got to play the hand you're dealt, and the Raptors, they play whoever's in front of them. Doesn't matter if it's a G League team. Doesn't matter if it's the Phoenix Suns loaded with stars, as we saw last game. Great game. Obviously, they couldn't pull it out in the end, but that was a great performance in the loss. Because I still don't think. I don't think.
And by the way, happy birthday, Chris Boucher.
I don't think that this team is a great team. Like, let's be real. I mean, I understand that they're beating up on G League teams. They're beating up on teams that are missing their best players. But the fact that this team has come together and we've seen what they can do, it's given me a lot more confidence that this can be a play-in team. This can be maybe a 6 seed or something. A team that can just be really competitive down the stretch. And the reason for that
currently,
is because,
as of this recording, they're 7th.
Yeah, they're 7th in the league right now. They just have to hold serve from now on out. And what we've seen is, so the Fred VanVleet situation. About right at the beginning of that winning streak, I was hearing a lot of all-star buzz around Fred VanVleet, just around the team. And I was kind of shrugging it off. Like, let's be real. Is Fred VanVleet an all-star? I don't know. Like, every team has to like throw up their token. Like, this is our all-star candidate. Even if you're a last-place team, you do that. I sort of thought he was just like a token guy. Like, put him on your ballot because Pascal's missed a bunch of time. OG's missed a bunch of time. Like, yeah, this guy is our nominee. But he has taken over in January. He has absolutely gone berserk. I just looked up his numbers.
He is actually number 3 of all time when it comes to making 4+ 3-pointers in 30 straight games.
Yeah, and I saw
he's actually... I'm just going to throw that out there.
He's
Freddie
averaging...
All-Star, or as Andrew Reese says, Fred VP.
He's averaging 9.4 3-point attempts per game. I prorated that over an entire season, and if he does that for 81 games or 82 games, he will be far and away the Raptors leader in 3-point attempts all time. He's shooting 40.1%. Was it 41%? Sorry, on those threes. So he's really killing it. I think what we've seen is there was all this talk going into the season. Is VanVleet a real point guard? Like, do we need someone like Goran Dragic to take over the point and have him play off ball? And what we've seen is, well, partly it just doesn't matter. We've seen that he can do both, though, is what I'm trying to get at. He can be the guy that initiates the offense. He can be the guy that distributes the ball, dribbles the ball, but he still gets his best 3-point opportunities on catch and shoot plays. If someone else is running it, if a Pascal is pitching it out, if a Scotty Barnes is pitching it out, those are great shots for him. So the key to unlocking the Raptors offense is to do both of those things, to have him initiate offense and finish offense. Then you go down the list to Pascal. Pascal, this month, we have seen the best version of Pascal. And I don't say that because he's going off. I don't say that because he's putting up crazy 30-point, 40-point nights. What we see is Pascal.
Smart.
He's playing smart. He's doing a little bit of everything on the floor. The average Pascal game these days seems to be 20 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. That's great. He's doing a little bit of everything. Playing good defense, not always, but better defense than he was when he was sort of taking the whole load on his shoulders.
And his field goal percentage has gone up at the same time too.
Yeah, so we're seeing him go back to
efficient shots.
We're seeing him go back to be that like second fiddle he was when he was in his prime, when he was that 2018-19 season. He was really a third option. And that's the thing. Pascal, as much as you want to shit all over this guy, Pascal is a great third option. It's when you try to make him a first option, second option, that it becomes a problem. So if he's your second option behind VanVleet going off, and you have some support behind him, this is a really strong starting unit. You go down the list: OG, I think what we're seeing with OG is we're seeing a guy who can be a finisher in this league. He's a 3-and-D player, absolutely. He could take shots from outside. He can work in the post a little bit. I still think we're not going to get that all-star leap necessarily that people were like predicting going into the season, where he's going to be this elite level ball handler. I don't see that. I didn't see it then. I don't see it now. I think what he is he's a guy who can finish plays for you. He's not an initiator. He's a guy, get him in the post. Get him to post up. If it's not there, kick it out to someone else who can initiate offense. But you combine that skill set.
Skip. That's Mayim Bialik and Joey Lawrence from the TV show Blossom. He's blossoming for you people out there. I'm telling you, this guy. Oh my goodness! Go on, please go on. Please preach.
Yeah, so he's just been consistent, and that's the main thing with him. He's consistent. You know what you're getting out of him every day. He's that quote unquote glue guy in the starting lineup. And then you go down the list. So Scotty Barnes. There's been a lot of talk about Siakam taking numbers away from Scotty, and I'll be honest, his numbers are down quite a bit the last month or two. Across the board, which is a little bit concerning. Like, obviously, a 4th overall pick, a rookie, you want to see him get better over the course of the year, not get worse. But what we are seeing, and this points to the Fred VanVleet point I made earlier, Scotty is, as much as he's not necessarily scoring or rebounding as much as he was, he's passing the ball a whole lot more. He's initiating a lot more offense. He is being given the job as the backup point guard now. Essentially, the reins have been handed over to him. Pascal does a little bit of that too, but we haven't seen Delano. We haven't seen Malachi Flynn play a meaningful game in like at least 2 weeks, either of them. Scotty,
Malachi and Delano went down to the 905. So
yeah, well, I mean, but even when they're available off the bench,
they're playing as we speak right now against the Capital City Go-Go.
Yeah, but even when they're available off the bench, they're not getting deployed. Nurse seems to have understood that Scotty Barnes should be ball handling, and as we said earlier, he's the guy who can spring VanVleet open for that corner 3, that top of the Q3. So even though his numbers across the board aren't quite what we'd like to see, he has really stepped up and he's really shown what kind of player he can be. And then it's just going to be a matter of continuing to develop, continuing to grow. And then you got Gary Trent as the 5th man in the starting lineup. He does his job. That's all you want. Shoot threes. I mean, he's struggling from 3 in January, but he shoots threes. He plays decent defense. He's just that Danny Green type. I mean, he's not quite as good as Danny was in the championship year, but if he can play that role.
Whoa, hold on. What? He's not as good as Danny Green?
I mean, he might be good as Danny Green now. He wasn't as good as Danny Green 2 or 3 years ago.
Danny Green's defense was not as good as Gary Trent. I got to argue with you on that one.
Yeah, but that's okay. So he's got the numbers. He's got the deflections and the
I don't care about the numbers. I'm watching the game.
He still gets gapped out sometimes. He still loses his spin and like switching or whatever. Like, he's not a perfect defender. He's an improved
Danny
defender.
Green is like Dellavedova, where he just injures somebody on purpose. By the way, he apologized for that, what he did to Klay Thompson when the Raptors won the championship.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was an accident. Anyway, the point is that you see this 5-man group gel together, and you see how they work, and you see how when the core 4 are on the floor, the Raptors are a really good team. The problem is they don't have much behind that. There's not a lot of depth on the bench. So that's kind of where we go next is, I see your face. What are you saying? What are you saying, Brian?
Skip, I've been saying since the beginning of the season, this Raptors bench, okay? Can I get a little mad here? May I?
Do what you want. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, screw it. I'm getting mad. Listen, that Raptors bench is deep. The problem is they're not utilized enough because Nick Nurse has not been throwing them on the court. He hasn't been putting them out there to get them their reps, get them the numbers. Okay, yeah. Send Malachi, send Delano back down.
I agree with that a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Utah comes in 4th quarter, garbage time, right? Maybe here and there. Like, they're not getting into the rhythm. It's like when last time when, again, Prob Warich, our boy, last time him and I spoke on this channel, we were talking about that, like the utilization of the bench. There's so many guys. Svi, think of all these guys if they did get their rep. But, however, I will say one guy that has not let me down on that bench, even though all you guys out there know Utah is my dude, Justin, the original Champagne Poppy. Are you guys kidding me? This guy is showing up and showing out and he's like a wrecking ball. Like, he comes out of nowhere. He's just swinging through, boom, take a rebound, boom, do a putback. You know, like, out of everything, I think Justin Champagne is showing out. But when you did say the bench skip, and yeah, I do eat my words a lot on this because I've said it a lot on the show, but I think Nick Nurse really has to utilize his bench a lot more and utilize them as a second squad, my friend.
Yeah, so I would agree with that just in the sense that you saw that game against Phoenix. I think the Raptors starters each had about 10 more minutes in that game than the Phoenix starters. So Nick Nurse is really shorting up his bench to like a playoff rotation in the middle of January. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I absolutely want to jump in on the Justin Champagne love. He was the number one guy on my list. I think I had him highlighted. I absolutely think he's gone insane. He has not gotten the run that I think he has deserved. I think the way that what you see with Champagne is he's a guy he's the prototypical fifth guy you quote unquote don't have to run a play for. I hate that terminology, but he is that guy because what he does is he comes in, he'll grab an offensive rebound, he'll get a putback.
Does it dirty.
He's like the JYD 2.0. Like he's just the guy who's always in there. He's always just making good things happen. You look up, Champagne's on the floor. Oh, someone hit an open corner three. Great. Like that's great. And obviously there's concerns that he might get exposed in a larger role, but he's absolutely earned it, especially over guys like Svi. Svi's like, if he's hot, he's good. If he's not hot, like get him out of there. Utah, I mean, I love Utah. I think he also deserves a little more run, but sometimes, I mean, he was a little shaky against Phoenix. Let's be real. First game back. But yeah, so I would love to see Justin Champagne play a lot more. But I think it's interesting what Nurse has done with the rotation because since guys came back from COVID, since he's had a pretty healthy roster, he seemed determined to go to this bench rotation that's just all these mobile bigs. It's basically just Precious, Birch coming off the bench, and Boucher. It's like 3-5 men. And Siakam
playing the point.
And Siakam playing a little point, yeah, too, or Scotty, whoever's in the game at the time. But I think it's really interesting that they're focusing so much on really big guys. And I think the idea here is, first of all, it's what they came into the season talking about, right? We're going to have a whole bunch of power forwards. We're going to do a whole bunch of switching.
Versatile.
Yep. But the other thing is that no one else was stepping up on the bench, none of the point guards, none of the wings. So what it seems to me is Nurse is basically just throwing a bunch of big guys who hustle out there and saying, go out there, get offensive rebounds, do dirty things, play hard defense, and you're in. Like, and we're gonna try and see if this works, because without a big man, it's really helping to have like 4 or 5 guys who are like not traditional bigs, but 6'8", 6'10". And we saw in that game against Phoenix, 22 offensive rebounds or something. It might be 21, but
yeah, that was ridiculous. That was so cool.
An enormous number.
And Boucher was a big part of that.
Boucher almost had 10 offensive rebounds. The 10th one just slipped through his fingers. And that's kind of the goal here, is like, if your bench can't be what you would like, if you can't have this perfect idealized bench like with the bench mob of 3 or 4 years ago, maybe you just bring guys in who can swap out with the starters, who can hustle and just kill some time. But let's be real, Nick Nurse, you've got to
use the bench.
You've got to find guys and spell your starters just a little bit more, because it's insane the amount of minutes they've been playing.
Yeah, it's like this. Mention the starters. Like, come on, Nick. Skip. There is you made some really good points there, but there is one thing that you kind of alluded to that I wanted to ask you about. Now that we are trickling down in our time, is you can put all those big guys out there, right?
Yeah.
But Gary Trent has been getting some traction, And now apparently, can I get mad again?
You're talking about the
Can I get
Lakers,
mad?
aren't you? You're talking about the Lakers.
Le flop, le bum, le GM, le super team wants to get Gary Trent in there.
They should have
To take
traded
away from
for
the
Buddy
Raptors?
Hield instead of freaking Russell Westbrook. Like, let's be real, that was a terrible trade.
That's some of the dumb. He just wants to water down everybody. The competition. I'm not even going to get into it. Andrew Reese, you can go off on this one, but Gary Trent possibly leaving the Raptors, I give that a hard hell no.
So I'm actually not going to say hell no. I'm going to say I don't buy it. But let me just double back on one thing. I think the Raptors are in a position right now where it makes sense to keep what they have and to keep rolling and try to get that 6th seed or try to make the play-in tournament, unless it's a really good offer. But let's step back for a moment and remember, when Gary Trent signed in the offseason, us on this podcast and a lot of people in Raptors land were very upset with that contract because he got $17 million a year for 2 years and then a player option.
2 years old.
And then a player option for the 3rd year. So the reasoning was, all right, so if he's good, that means he walks in year 3. So you got him for 2 years. And if he's bad, then you got to pay him. So he's been good. He's earned that contract so far. I think he hasn't been great or anything, but he's been a very solid guy. But if you were to think about this from an asset management perspective as a GM, I think it makes a lot of sense to try and get some more long-term coverage from somebody else and maybe flip a Gary Trent Jr. in the trade market. I think that's something the Raptors would consider. Would they send him to the Lakers for Taylor Horton-Tucker? I don't know about that. I don't know if that's enough of a return. I don't know if that really excites me either way. But I don't think we should dismiss this out of hand. I think the Lakers are desperate. Obviously, the Lakers are doing whatever they can, and this is probably leaking from Lakerland. I'm not expecting it to happen, but don't crap all over anyone who makes an offer for Gary Trent, because this guy, as young as he is, he's not one of the core 4. He does work well with the core 4, but I would be happy to move on from him if the pieces that came back were pieces that the Raptors were really high on and thought could be more beneficial over a longer term period. Anyway,
wow, someone's got DeMar DeRozan syndrome. Anything to bring a chip, eh? You did make a good point there that any team would want Gary Trent, but Gary Trent would want to stay in Toronto. He's made that very clear. And
yeah, but you got to pay him.
To touch on that, it's like, who the hell the Lakers are going to give up that would make your Toronto Raptors better?
Yeah,
like,
you have to be really high on Taylor Horton-Tucker, and I haven't seen him enough to really scout him, but from what I've seen, he's not a name that like excites me.
No, it's not gonna go nowhere. You guys kill all that noise. I've seen you guys online about Gary Trent going out there. I've seen you guys. I can mention your name, your website, and tell you you're wrong, but I won't. Skip. You know what? There's also the other thing that we have to discuss is before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, is you guys have to go out there. Hashtag NBA All-Star. Hashtag Fred VanVleet. My mother's favorite player. Okay, your favorite player. The guy that took over the role for Kyle Lowry to make your Raptors keep running as the engine, and has been doing it and has been showing up and showing out the last couple games. Skip, how do you feel about Freddie's All-Star voting? And by the way, you guys, don't hate on our boy Robert Mishovich for this one. He knows it too, so quit with that noise. Quit with that noise. I'm tired of waking up looking at notifications. Skip, what do you think?
I think absolutely we got to get him in the All-Star game at this point. The way he's gone off in January, he's cemented his place. Whether it's fan voting, whether it's coaches, I haven't seen the latest round of fan voting. I don't know. I think it dropped today. But whether it's fan voting or coaches, let's get him into the game. I think he's got a great shot now. I think him and Ja Morant are going to be the big first-time All-Stars this year. Ja's gone off. I think it'd be fun to see them both.
Skip. Hold on a second. Did I not say when John Morant got drafted into the league, I said, that's the guy I'm going to watch 2 years ago? Was that not the guy? There's a video of us out there where I said that. But please, go on.
I'm getting shades of Greg Oden and Kevin Durant with those two, with him and Zion. But anyway, it's a little early for that. Anyway, yeah, let's get VanVleet into the All-Star game. It would be great to see him there. I do think he deserves it. I think, yeah, obviously Siakam has an outside case too, but he's not going to make it. We're not good enough for that. So let's get one guy to the game. VanVleet's never been there. Let's do it.
All right, guys, you know what to do. Go down there, click subscribe, click like, leave us a comment. We're going to send you guys that Raptors to whichever one of you 400 people once we get there.
And we're going to have more giveaways after that too for 500, 600.
Yeah, that's only the beginning. That's only just the little bit of snow rolling down the hill to create that avalanche. You guys also go hashtag All-Star, NBA All-Star, hashtag Fred VanVleet. Get him in there just so we single dudes can do something on Valentine's Day weekend. Right? Or some guys with baby mamas. I don't know. Just so we have something to do. But make sure you go do that for your Toronto Raptors, for Freddie VanVleet. And you guys go down there. We are just going to keep pumping out content. You guys have no idea what we have in hand for you over the next, Skip, what do we plan out? The next 3 months or something like that? Yeah, we'll be here for you guys. You guys keep supporting us. Keep sending it to your friends. Keep clicking sub on it. Keep clicking like. Keep leaving the comment. Let us know what you think. We'll respond back to you. I might respond back to you personally. But Skip, do you have anything else you want to say to our loyal viewers?
No, just keep it tuned next week.
Wow. Big words from the skipper. So on behalf of myself and Skip, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and
peace.